Hello and welcome back to another Mole Valley Maker video. In today's video, it's a very simple project, two pieces of timber, and we're just going to turn a very small stylized bird. So I'm starting off by taking a piece of spruce. It's a spindle that's been cut from a 40mm thick scaffold board. It's just an offcut, and I'm using the radius skew just to start getting a little bit of shape into the piece, actually starting by turning the head. And here I've switched to I think a 3/8 spindle gouge, which, although is freshly sharpened, is leaving a very poor finish, which you'll see in just a moment. This is really torn up the grain. It's possible I didn't sharpen the spindle gouge directly before doing this cut, but even so, I do find with softwood like spruce, the real way to get a decent finish is with a skew chisel. A little bit better with some gentler cuts, but here I switch back to the radius skew. And you see already it's just taken much better cut. And now switch to a 6mm skew just to get into some delicate cuts. Again, a very rigorous sanding routine here. I think 240 grit and then maybe 600 grit, because that's literally what I had to hand. And I'm not slowing the lathe down. The lathe is turning at I think it's 2200 RPM. The lathe is a record power DML 305, which is 6 speeds, and this is not quite on the top speed. I think the top speed is about 3000, but we're also turning a very tiny piece, so the actual surface speed on that piece is not that great. And that's the top finished. And then for the body, I'm recycling a previous project. I think I'd attempted to turn a Father Christmas there. Anyway, it was a bit of a test piece that I'm recycling. I'm just roughing it down, getting it centered. So when I'm turning the body, I think should have done it the other way around, really, because I start off by turning the sort of chest side of the duck's body, or the bird's body if you like, which obviously means I part off on the tail section, which is the smaller diameter section. So I've got quite a mass hanging out attached by a very small piece of timber, which you'll see in a moment. It's actually quite difficult to see some of these ridges that you can quite clearly see on this video. The camera does a really good job of picking up all the marks, all the ridges. I can't always see them. I do wear reading glasses, so I can't really see much of that detail without wearing glasses anyway, but I sometimes need to step up to a slightly stronger pair. So whereas the bird's head was slightly more spherical with a pointy bit on it, this is a little bit more kind of teardrop shaped, definitely a lot more ovoid. So again, just feeling the ridges. I think decided to do a bit of sanding, just checking that it looks kind of okay. Sizing the head. Rigorous sanding again. You can see it's a very fast grown wood, lots of space in between the growth rings. Just trying to clear away the waste material, give me a bit of space to work. I did stop and take a diamond card to the skew somewhere towards the end of making the head, so it is a slightly sharper skew, although this one was fairly recently sharpened. Bit more sanding. While there's still some strength left, you can see what I mean now. You've got quite a large piece of wood supported by not very much. And as I start making the next cut, the timber starts oscillating and you can just hear it rubbing against the tool rest. The tool rest hasn't moved, it's just the fact that it's very close. And I start to hear it and just gently pull it back a bit. Just trying to blend that curve in, but I don't think I'm using the skew with a supported bevel there because I've got quite a ripple. But again, the marks are tiny, so if I'm using 600 grit, which I've got a lot of, so I tend to use that quite a lot when I'm doing small pieces, even if it means it takes a bit longer. So you can see it's just kind of taken off most of that straight away. And just going to part that off. Don't see so much clearance with this one because it'll move on its own, and that's that finished. And then a little bit of hand sanding. I'm just starting off by putting a flat on the body so that it kind of stands on its own, and then just working out roughly where on the head and putting a smaller flat on there, sanding the opposite flat onto the head, and there we have it. Obviously you can style that as you want, different sizes. Thanks for watching.